Hey cuties, I'm Lanikia and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. All right, happy Friday, guys. Let's jump right into it. Today is Friday, July the 8th, 2022. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this one, it was a solid. It moved the story along. I'm going to give it a 7. It was about a 7. All right, let's see. There was a lot of moving pieces. I'm going to start with my favorite pieces. Which are okay. So Sally is running in the park, and she receives a message from Chloe, because Sally has offered Chloe the COO job, and now she feels like a fool because she's offered this girl this job, and now Victoria has come back, and everything is upended. So Sally really is that's Sally's job, because if Adam goes back to Newman Media, that's where Sally will be. And so then we see that she tries to call Adam and she can't reach him, so she leaves him a voicemail. And Jack happens upon her because she in that park like everybody be. And so he comes through and he says, "Sally, they walk a lot in this town." He said, "Sally, I heard that end of the conversation. I think you and Adam are made for each other." And she was like, "Are you being?" I'm going to take that as a compliment. And he was like, "No, no, no. I've seen how much Adam has tried to change and everything." She says, "I hope it stays that way." And then she starts telling him everything about Victoria, and how they've done Adam, the big announcement. And Jack says Victor has a long history of manipulating his children. And she said, "Yeah, compared to the Newmans, the Abbotts are saints." He said, "Well, I don't know about that, but honestly, nobody is having issues like this in business but the Newmans. Like, Hamilton Chancellor over there happy. The only one who getting on their nerves is Nate by, announcing stuff. But in the Abbotts, you don't see it. Well, as of right now, you don't see any infighting or anything. The only place where it's just like they're cutting at each other's throats is in the Newmans right now. And so, he just tells, I'm not gonna hold you long. He tells Sally, you know, "I hate that Victor does him like that." He says, "I've seen that he's trying to change." And he says, "And I hear the love in your voice when you talk about him and everything." And he says, "Just be careful with Adam," because he said, when he's been hurt, he hurts. He lashes out, like, and sometimes the collateral damage, he doesn't think about them and everything. And so that's just his advice to Sally. And so then we see that Billy was still, because we're going to stay on Sally. So we see Billy was still speaking to Adam, and he's telling him, he's just gloating. He's continuing to gloat, and Adam reminds him, like, when I'm have my back against the wall, I'm most dangerous. And then Adam gets up and leaves. And then Chelsea is like, "Oh, what was that about?" Because she comes in up on Billy. But I mean, Billy doesn't tell her anything. I'm just gonna wrap them up. So Chelsea comes up on Billy, and so she tells him about she quit the all her jobs. She quit all her jobs, and now she wants to work with Billy. And I said, "Okay, if you quit your jobs, why are you wanting to help Billy?" That it because she said she was so stressed out and she's taking a break. Well, whatever, child. So she's gonna work. She wants to work with Billy, and he tell on the podcast, make it lighter. He said he has gotten a criticism since Chelsea told him about the podcast being a little down and sad. And she said, "I could help you make it lighter or point you in a different direction and stuff." So he said, "I'm gonna think about it." I said, "Chelsea, please don't tell me you want Billy." But that's what it looked like, because then Victoria comes up and he says, "Me, Victoria, and I have a few things to discuss." And she says, "Okay." And then when she's leaving, she looks back at Billy, and I said, "Oh my gosh, here we go." I thought she was gonna be liking Kyle, because he kept coming to her rescue. But I said, and then some of y'all were saying Chance, but it looks like it might be Billy. Who knows with Chelsea? Who knows? So, anyways, I'm gonna stay with this. So then we see that Adam left talking to Billy, and he goes and gets some coffee. And Stannis, the spy, he tells Ashlyn that there was a big blow up argument between Adam Newman and a guy named Billy. He said, "I'm gonna call you about it." So then we see Ashlyn text Stannis, and he tells him, you know, Adam is still at the spot. So he goes and he talks to Adam, and he just tells Adam, Adam was like, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Well, I'm I've come to get some leftover clothes that I left at the house. And he said, Victoria probably is doing a bonfire or something right now. This is Adam talking to Ashlyn. And he says, whew, he was like, I can't believe you showed your face. He said, I know you Newmans think that I'm just gonna run and hide, but that's not me. And then he tells Adam about and then he tells Adam about you know, Adam taunts Ashlyn about, how Victoria's done him, and he was like, but then he tells Adam like, you got did the same way. As soon as the golden child came back, they took you right out of that seat, and he said, oh, it's already happening, hasn't it? And so Adam is just like, what do you want, Ashley? And he says, I know you don't think Victoria wants you back. He said, oh, no, no. I admire her cunning, but no, I have no delusion that she wants me. He said, but we want the same thing, which is to take Victoria and Victor down or whatever. But Adam gets up and leaves, and I said, please, Adam, don't do it. So then that's when we see Adam goes and speaks to Chelsea, and he says, he ran into Billy, and she said, "Oh my gosh, and that's not who you wanted to see." And he said, "Nope." And yes, he gloated, and everything. And he said, "But then I ran into Ashlyn." And she said, "What? What is he doing here?" And he says he's just came to pick up his things. He said, "But I think he has something benign, waiting on a little less benign, waiting on Victoria and Victor." And she says, "How?" He said, "Which might work out for the both of us." And she said, "How would that work out?" And he said, "Because Ashlyn, would take them down." And she said, but I thought the whole point was to get back up to, being in the CEO of Newman Enterprise. And he said, oh no, I'm done with that. He was like, I'm done trying to prove myself to my father and trying to prove myself to my family. And I remember what Jack told Sally. He says, no, he's gonna take Victoria and Victor down, and I just want to see it happen. He says, he's tired. He's tired of trying to be the one to always reach out to Victor, trying to be the one that bends over backwards. He's like, they just use me. They throw me away. And you could even see it when they're because and Nikki and Victoria were talking, and Nikki and Victoria were talking, and Sharon and Nick were talking, and they both brought up Adam, and Sharon was like, "Man, so Adam's just out," and she said after that big press conference and everything, and Nick was like, "Yeah, I mean," he was like, "I feel bad for him because that is tough," he said, but he knew Victoria was going to be coming back, and Sharon was just like, "I know, but still, that's hard," and Nikki, but he says he should be happy with running Newman Media. And then Victoria says the same thing because Nikki was like, we need to be careful with Adam because he's a wild card. And Victoria's just like, he should be happy with running Newman Media. So, because it looks like they're going to offer Nick the COO position. So Nikki gets to be co-CEO. Nick is probably going to be COO. Victoria is co-CEO, and y'all are just like, we're gonna run the big house, and then Adam, you could go over there and just run Newman Media. Just be okay with being CEO of that. There's nothing wrong for this. And that's exactly like we the Newmans by Nikki and Victor. We're gonna run the major thing, and then you're not really, you're not by Nikki, so you go over there and you be happy with the scrapes that we give you, and that's how it feels. And that's exactly what Adam said. He's like, I'm tired of just being second best, always trying to prove myself to them, so I'm not anymore. And I said, Sally, tell if he doesn't want revenge, okay. If he just wants to let whatever Ashlyn does to them do it, okay. But if he's active in it, I think Shelly should talk him off the ledge, because I'm like, it's not only about him, it's also about her. And but Adam really does care for Sally, so I don't see him doing something bad that would hurt her. I hope. But anyway, so we go back to Nikki and Victoria, and that's pretty much what they were talking about. Just bringing Nick in and how happy they are to do that. And then with Nikki and Billy, they just talk about how really they talk about how he's happy that she's away from Ashlyn, and she tells him, I want you to expose Ashlyn on your show about him lying about cancer. I want it to be over for him. And so then we see that because Billy is like, well, you told me you didn't want me talking. She said, yes, but now I'm ready. And she said, and it is what it is. I like, but he needs to be exposed for what he's done. So then we see that Sharon and Nick speak, and he tells Sharon says, you know, you're going back because he's debating on going back to Newman. She says, you know, you're going back. You already made up your mind because I know you. And he said, yeah, he's going back. We already knew he was going back. And who else was on here? Oh, then we see that Nikki has a run in with Jack, and he tells her that, you know, he doesn't want to hear it about Diane. And she says, you abbots are just standing in the back while she comes in. She says, but I have bigger fish to fry in my family, and I don't have to worry about I don't have time to worry about Diane or whatever. He says, yes, I heard Victoria is back and everything, and you know, and all that. So then we go to Ashland, who goes back to his hotel room, and he's just, you can see that he's like emotionally, it has taken his toll on everything that Victoria has done to him. And I believe I covered everyone today. Let me yep, I covered everyone today. But the main thing for me today was just that, you know, Adam finally is like, okay, I'm done trying to get my father's approval. And I'm like, it's about time. Now start your own company instead of trying to get revenge or care. Like, I want him to get to the point where he doesn't even care about getting even. That's what I would like to see. But that was the Young and the Restless today, guys. Have a safe have a safe and wonderful weekend. Be blessed, and I will see you Monday for a new week of the soaps. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Even if you don't subscribe, that's okay. I'll still be doing these videos for you. Bye.